Good morning, everyone. This is me getting ready to cook breakfast for my sister and myself. I'm going to give her a little treat. We're getting ready to make our Christmas plans, and our mother gets to come and visit our other sister up in Ellenwood, and we are going to travel up there after Christmas to see her because she's getting sprung from the assisted living home for a few days to visit her family. So this may be one of the last times we get to see her and to visit, and we want to drive up there, but after Christmas. So she's come over this morning. I've already made her happy with coffee, and I've prepped a few things to surprise her. I did not know this until this morning, but my lovely sister has never, ever had butternut squash, ever. So she's going to be in for a treat. I was telling her that a lot of people who are gluten-free and dairy-free, if they have a potato with their meal or hash brown, sometimes there's preservatives on it, so you make them fresh. But one of the most delicious, flavor-packed meals I ever had was at La Provence in Portland with the butternut squash, and I'm going to show you how I cube it. And I they put rosemary and thyme and oregano on it, and it was just the most amazing, amazing uh, addition to uh, my breakfast. And it really added a lot of flavor. And it's a nice treat. That's that kind of food for me, so that when I had it, I felt like I was really eating something special. And what I'm going to do this morning is show you how small I dice these up. And I'm adding them to my skillet that already has minced garlic and shallots and dried onions in it this morning. So with that being said, that's the base, and then olive oil in my pan to grease it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fry these up as I would a hash brown or a country potato. And then I have olive oil on the dish so that it doesn't stick, because it's a starch, and so you're going to get a little sticky going on there. But with the Provence herbs that are going to be on, it really pops the flavor. And I frequently have this for breakfast. I was quite surprised my sister's never had this, but sometimes I don't like to get the butternut squash that frequently because it's hard to peel, it's hard to handle, and one butternut squash could last me, 5 or 6 meals. So unless I'm going to be eating a lot or I'm going to travel and take it with me someplace and share it, I do that a lot. I'll take and prep my food and put it in baggies, and then I'll go someplace else and do the cooking. And when I do that, I'm preparing it in my own home, and I'm able to control the contamination. As most of you know, I have to watch out for that. And I know that it's prepared safely in my hands. Now, if I touch my hair or I drop food, I tell people, this is my kitchen. I'm not cooking for anybody else but me. And it's not that I ignore the sanitation for myself. It's just that these are my germs. Bug off. But, somewhat defensive there. because I get a little bit of criticism that I should have done this or I should have done that, or, you know, a professional would do it differently. But I want to reiterate, this is not a professional training. This is to allow you the freedom to cook safe, healthy meals in your own home. So my techniques are not anywhere near the level and the caliber of a trained professional chef. And as you can see, me and knives, we're real careful. And I'm not that good at them either. So I readily admit that. And I don't have any problem with that. But don't criticize me for something I haven't done either. You know, if you can't uplift people and help them and make their lives better, you know, my grandmother used to say, if you don't have something good to say, don't say anything at all. It's like one of those situations. So with that being said, we are going to then, as soon as this gets started, we are going to have butternut squash as like a hash brown situation in one pan cooking. And then I'm going to just make kind of an omelet scrambled egg mixture in my other pan. And we're going to have eggs, mushrooms in our eggs this morning. We've already started drinking our coffee. My sister loves my frother, which I think I'm probably going to have to buy her one for Christmas. But then she'd stay home and she wouldn't come over. So I don't know if I want to buy her one or not. I do enjoy having the company. So it's very nice that she only lives a couple blocks away and a few houses over from me. So I get to see her. And she's about the only person that I see. I visit my doctors and go to them. And of course, I wear my mask and practice safe distancing and don't touch anybody. And I wash my hands constantly. I get home, I think I have a rash on my hands. I've washed them so many times. But so I do a lot of that. One thing I will tell you about people who have autoimmune illness or people who've been poisoned, like I was with mold, and also having been sick in my life, we have issues wearing those masks. We get the runny nose, we get sneezing, we feel like we're not able to breathe quite right. And so those masks can make us feel sick. So I actually try to never go places. Frequently, I'll be on my own property for 2 weeks and never leave it. I have no reason. I, you know, order from Amazon and have everything delivered and food delivered, and sometimes my sister will run errands for me and pick things up for me. And you know, I'm very blessed in that I have found ways of getting things done that don't expose me to the world at large out there with the germs and that kind of thing. I did ask my doctor yesterday about the vaccines again. I would be open to doing a homeopathic formula that is minus all of the neurotoxins and the preservatives in that, because preservatives are neurotoxic. And I react to all of that. So I've been told many, many times, even contacted scientists, formulators, to find out if I'm a safe person for that type of thing. And I'm just not yet. And she said that as soon as she knows anything, I'm on her list to call. So With that being said, in the meantime, the best advice I have from my doctors is to avoid people, especially the people who don't avoid people, because those people are a threat in my life. So, with that being said, um, I know, and some of you have talked to me about my little microphone, and I have a fruit display, my little pumpkin, that I put my microphone on. I'll show you here how I do this. See my little pumpkin? He wears a microphone. And so that's how the voice comes out so clear. And then also this little laptop that I'm filming on today is duct taped to the tripod. So, you know, Kansas girl, we're, full of ingenuity. Anyway, so potatoes are getting ready to be started here. And I am now learning to cook with gas again. So I turn it way down. I already have my pan oiled, and everything is set up and in the pan, and it's going to start cooking. And then I kind of mix it up with the spices and the herbs and make sure that what is cooking is all evenly mixed. And then I'm going to add my wonderful herbs Provence. And this is a jar that I get from a supplier here. And actually this jar came from Trader Joe's. I'm always doing Trader Joe's commercials. I think they should hire me. So I'm going to do a couple little spoonfuls. And remember those Mediterranean flavors, Italy and France, those herbs, those are my favorite. So with that being said, that's where I'm going. Now, a couple of days ago, I made some drop biscuits. I put these in a muffin tin and baked them up. And I always have extra when I cook because I can freeze them or keep them for the next day or whatever. And I got them done. And my sister hasn't tasted them, so I want her to taste them. And I'm just going to warm them up for a few minutes and put them in my oven and get them going. Now with these potatoes slash the butternut squash, I do put a lid on them because they're a very hard, crunchy texture, and I want them to kind of get mushy a little bit, almost to a sweet potato baked stage. It's going to take probably 15 to 20 minutes to cook those up. So in the meantime, I'm going to show you a little bit about what I do with eggs so that you have something else to add to your menu of gluten-free, dairy-free, corn-free cooking, grain-free. My doctor and I was talking yesterday about gluten-free foods, and that in this area, when a label says gluten-free, what that actually translates in English to is that it is free of wheat. It does not mean that it is free of all glutens. Big surprise, right? But the way the FDA regulates labeling, that's all you're going to see. So you want to reread every label. Even if it says gluten-free on the front, reread the back of the label and see what it's preserved with, how it's packaged, the facility that it's made in, because those things will reveal to you how safe that it is or appropriate that it is for you. If you see the words modified food starch and you're on a gluten-free diet, avoid it. Avoid it, because modified food starch is a very generic term that can mean wheat is used to thicken it, or corn is used to thicken it. And the FDA labels corn as a vegetable. So when you need to not have gluten as a generic term in your diet, the best thing you can do for yourself is eliminate all grains and all sources of grain products or grain ingredients. Okay, so for me, it's easier to eliminate the wheat. That wasn't a problem. The corn and other grains have been the problem. Sorghum wheat is a problem. Now, I just eliminate them all, and that way I'm doing the best thing I can do for myself. So I tell the story, and I don't know where I got this story. I've had it in my head for a long, long time. When I decorated my house, I use silver and pink a lot. Silver is for me to feel the light of God around me, God's graces, my spiritual ancestors, my own higher self, my wiser self. I use that as a symbol in all my paintings. I put glitter in them. So glitter represents in my paintings the Holy Spirit, or the presence of divine intelligence, if you will. So in my home, I decorate with that a lot, but I also add pink. Pink isn't just for girls, okay? Pink represents safety for me, peace for me. It's a heart chakra. Pink quartz is a heart chakra. So what's loving to me in my body is to not have gluten, dairy, especially corn. So my house is decorated to remind me of pink, safety, love, energy, feeling kindness, feeling compassion, feeling safety, feeling like I can stay in my heart. So I tell my sister, because we do a lot of estate planning from day to day with me, because I'm almost 70. And so, you know, it's been long past time that I get on this page and I help those who may be taking care of me someday to be on the same page. So I'm starting to lose my memory. I'm starting to get confused. I'm starting to get disoriented, and I'm aware of it. I don't think other people see it. They may just think I'm being goofy, or I'm flaky, or I'm silly, or whatever. I seem to pull it off okay right now, but there's going to come a time when I won't. And it is good when you have a food challenge to have other people in your life. If you're a young child, then you'll have your parents. If you're married, you might have your husband or your children or your sister or your brothers or somebody, your best friend, who knows what's normal for you, especially if you have a critical allergy like I do. Now, my mother is in an assisted living home. She's on record for not having flour and wheat products in her diet, okay? But she sometimes is so limited to what she can eat. She literally lives on mashed potatoes, literally, because that's all the chef or the cooks in this facility will give her. and that she can tolerate. Well, the potato has a lot of magnesium, which feeds the gut and helps her with her stress level. But her gut needs more than that. It needs more nutrients. And one of the frustrating things that I hope to avoid for myself and in making these videos is to leave a trail that allows people to know what I can eat and what I can't eat. So what I'm cooking today is one of my favorite foods, and some of the favorite things that I can live on, that I can eat. Even if I lose all my teeth, I can eat this. And I like it. It's safe for me, and any chef can fix it. It's very easy. So, and if you're a teenager away at college, you can do this for yourself as well. It's very, very easy. Now, nutrients are really important. Having enough protein in the gut is really important. But you're going to have to find sources of protein that are not grain derived. Okay? When I eat my safe, lovingly made, because I think the most important ingredient you put into a recipe is love. Don't eat food from an angry chef. In other words, that's one of my best advices ever. Eat your food that's prepared with love. Somebody who honors you and respects your diet, your taste buds, your energy. Okay, because that's what you're giving out to the world. That's what you're giving out to the world. And it comes from somewhere. So when I eat my food, I call it my pink food. So it's like how I decorate, and I decorate to remind me that I have to eat pink. Okay? So pink food is safe food. That's what it means. So eat pink means eat safe. Eat love food. Okay? It's very simple if you think of it that way. So when I'm eating my food that's safe for my body, that won't send me to the emergency room, it's called pink food. It's not just gluten-free, dairy-free, corn-free, blah, blah, blah. It's my pink food, okay? My brain did a switch on there. And so if I had a stroke and I ended up going to a facility, a hospital, an assisted living home, and I was in a situation like my mother and somebody else was cooking for me, hopefully, you know, people will bring these videos and show the chef. But I need pink food. That means safe food. That means food without gluten, without dairy, without my allergens. Yesterday when I was at my doctor's, because, you know, I moved and now I have to establish care. And for me, that's about interviewing a physician to make sure I can trust them and that they're knowledgeable about my diet and my supplements and what I take and why I take and my philosophy about healing. You know, most doctors I challenge, most doctors I interview, most doctors I highly question their philosophy. People who are in the same situation as I am, we have problems with traditional narcotics, medications, prescriptions. They respond differently. This is looking nice. Yeah. See how that's just coming out really, really well? All the herbs are around it. All of the garlic is mixed up in there. A little olive oil. Put the lid back on. It'll cook really good. And life goes on very well. Anyway, eat your pink food. I'm getting ready to make some eggs. And first thing I'm going to do, I love being able to cook with a gas. I have a little bit of butter in my fry pan. And my butter is either a coconut oil based, an olive oil based, or soy based. I'm still able to tolerate soy. I don't have it very much, but I'm still able to tolerate it at this point. I don't choose it very frequently, but it is there. Anyway, with all that being said, we're going to warm this up, and I have some mushrooms made that we're going to add to this and get those toasted and browned and cooked just a little bit. This is a pretty simple dish, and I think my sister's really going to like it. Almost all of them are done. So I'm going to turn that way, way down on low. And then as these mushrooms start getting cooked, I'm going to add the egg and about 2 drops of water. I do not put dairy in my eggs. I do not put any kind of other ingredients. I keep it very, very simple. I only use fresh vegetables. So I frequently will use a pepper, onions. I love eggs with hatch green chilies, and sometimes I will buy those in the can, but I buy them directly from New Mexico, where they're manufactured. And then I will maybe add a little bit more Provence herbs to just a pinch to the recipe with the eggs. And that's going to be our breakfast this morning. So eat pink food that's safe and loving for you, that's nurturing for you if you're gluten-free, dairy-free, or have any food allergies whatsoever. And put something around to remind yourself to eat pink, to stay safe, to stay loving. And make sure that someone else knows about your diet. Make sure you write it down or that you show somebody, make a video like I do. Some kind of record for your medical future, because it can be vital to your life if you have the challenges of being celiac or anaphylactic. So with all that being said, I bid you adieu, and from Kansas, I send you lots of love for the holidays. Mwah!